Good morning. It is Wednesday, gentle yoga. No. Chair yoga Thursday. I'm getting my days of the week screwed up because I am on vacation this week, but not so much so that I can't bring you yoga. So we are focusing this week on the Citti Mudra. And in this mudra, which is very interesting mudra, take our hands in prayer pose, and then we take our index fingers and our thumbs together and place them in front of the rest of our fingers. So behind, it looks like, I don't know, prayer pose with some ears, cat ears. And from the front, it looks like this. And we take this mudra to help us to look inside and challenge limiting thoughts. So this is a mudra we take to expand our thinking. It is called the gesture of witness consciousness. So we use this to raise our consciousness. And the awakening of the inner witness is a core quality. So through witnessing, we expand our beliefs, mostly our beliefs about the possibilities, and limiting our beliefs or reducing our limiting beliefs about what we can't do or what isn't possible. So I've been using this class this week to focus on this idea of examining how we place upon ourselves limiting beliefs, how we tell ourselves that certain things are off limits or aren't going to happen. And oftentimes this takes place in the manifestation through asanas, where we may stay away from even attempting certain asanas because we don't believe that we can do them. But we also don't even enter them in any kind of form, or we feel badly during this time that somebody else is doing this great asana, but we can't. So the thing about yoga is a moment of knowing yourself. Yoga is all about, integrating all the parts of you so that you can have a deeper understanding of yourself. And asanas are part of that. So it also helps us to become aware of our moments of honesty. And are we judging ourselves during these times harshly? And exit out of that judgment and think about things as opportunities. So if, the other night, you guys may have witnessed that I took a headstand and fell out of it. But what did I say before going into the headstand? If you don't want to do the full headstand, you can do something else during that time. So it's an opportunity to to honor the body, to respect where you are, to respect what your current needs are, and to honor that. So let's sit down in the chair and take Citti Mudra. We are accompanied this morning by our faithful companion, Nuni the Wonder Dog. So sit back in your chair. Now, I give this advice every class about what type of chair to use. I may, in the near future, begin including in our classes a folding chair instead of this nice, firm dining room chair, because there are more things you can do in chair yoga using a folding chair. But at this point, any chair you use is fine, as long as the chair is stable and doesn't move. And you may notice that I do set up my chair on a mat, because we frequently get out of the chair to use the chair for support while we do poses out of the chair. So you still want your feet not to move, you still want to be safe. Okay, so and then what we want, I got a little distracted by little miss here. We want our thighs to be parallel to the floor and for our feet to be in firm contact with the floor. So you may notice that I use a set of blocks when I do chair yoga in this chair, because this chair is kind of tall. Now, if you do choose to use a metal chair for yoga, you will want to choose a chair that you can sit securely in. So you may consider a chair that has a puffy top instead of a chair that is metal only, because when you're wearing yoga clothes, you're kind of slippery. We don't want you being slippery while you're doing yoga. Okay, so let's take the Citti Mudra. Bring it close to the chest. Start to inhale and exhale through your nose. Draw the crown of your head up nice and tall. Lift up your heart center. Drop your shoulders down as you lift up the heart. As you breathe in and out, expand your belly on the inhale and contract your belly on the exhales. Draw your attention inward towards the third eye. And take this opportunity to turn inward. Ask yourself, if you are showing up to this practice with a mind of the possibilities or a mind focused on limitations. Focus on what is possible. Focus on expanding opportunities. Acknowledge that each time we show up to the mat, it is an opportunity to more deeply know ourselves, to become in greater union with the self, to connect with the divine, with all that is around us, and we do this through breathing, the full, rich breath. We do this through asanas or postures. We do this through mudras or seals. And we do this through our consciousness and mindfulness. We turn away from the chatter of all that is outside, the voices in our lives that have told us what our limitations are. We replace those voices with a voice of confidence, a voice that affirms our strengths. We hold witness to the fact that this moment in time is a good moment in time. It is a perfect moment in time, and we have chosen to show up for it. And when we do that, wonderful things can happen. Breathe deeply into the deepest parts of the lungs and exhale fully all the way to the crown of the head. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, expanding all the structures of your breathing. And exhale, fully empty out. Let's take one more inhale. And exhale. Release this mudra. Place your hands down. Lift up the crown of the head, draw the shoulders down, and open up your eyes gently, focusing on a fixed point in the distance, using your drishti gaze, your half gaze. Inhale your hands out and up, and exhale them out and down. Inhale your hands out and up. Exhale them out and down. Inhale out and up. And then exhale, let's lay over our legs as we swan dive into a modified Uttanasana, dropping our hands, dropping our crown. Inhale into a flat spine. Exhale down. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale. Exhale the hands down. Inhale them up. Exhale, swan dive forward, drawing your heart center towards your legs. Drop your crown. Inhale into a flat spine. Exhale down. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale. Exhale the hands down. Inhale your hands up. Exhale, swan dive forward, leading with the heart, laying over the legs. Drop your crown. Inhale into a flat spine, drawing the crown of your head forward. Exhale down. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Place your hands on your thighs. Let's focus right at this moment on lifting up the heart center, drawing down the shoulders, and drawing up the crown of the head. Moving the back of your head so that your ears are stacked over your shoulders, shoulders over the wrists. So sitting up nice and tall. And I'm sitting way in the back of my chair now. You can move forward if that works better for you. But what I want is an active posture that engages our side waist, engages our core muscles, engages all of the muscles up and down the spine so that you can keep this beautiful, tall posture. Many of our aches and pains that we have in the neck and shoulders, and this mudra is also taken to release tension from the shoulders and neck. So many of the difficulties we may have with this part of the body have much to do with posture. They also have to do with breathing. And one of the things a nurse friend of mine noted is that most Americans are shallow chest breathers. So through the practice of yoga, we breathe deeply and we fill up the whole body cavity with air. And in doing so, we expand all the structures of this whole area of the whole cavity. And by doing so, we release tension, bringing rich oxygen to the body, but also bringing rich oxygen to the brain. So one of the things that we are talking about in this mudra is seeing things from a different perspective. Sometimes when we are so close to the subject, we cannot see things from a different perspective. So I invite you today to begin to look at things from an alternate perspective, a paradigm shift, right? But we can't do that without oxygenation, without bringing rich air and oxygen to the brain and to all of the body. And by lifting up the crown and lowering down the shoulders, we automatically engage all of those muscles between the shoulder blades. And we create space. And when we create space, we reduce pressure on the nerves, and we give the muscles the space that they need to relax. And by doing this, we create maximum space between each of our vertebrae by growing the crown of the head long, thinking of Inspector Gadget, his arms that could reach out and the head that could reach up. Think of it that way. But when you create space between each of your discs, again, you're reducing pressure on the discs, you're reducing pressure on the nerves connected to those different vertebrae and discs. You're also creating space for your facet joints, and you're doing it in a very healthy way. As we age, we all shrink. I have shrunk probably an inch, maybe less, because we lose moisture in our discs as we age. It's a function of aging. So we have to be very conscientious as we age about continuing to create length in the spine to keep a healthy spine, and also to keep the back and the body strong and healthy so that we can maintain health in the spine, reduce the risk of injury. Let's start with some neck rolls to release that tension. But before we go on to neck rolls, actually, let's do a neck release first. So take our right hand and press it down as if there's a marshmallow you're pressing on. Press down, drawing the shoulders down with you as you press your hand towards the floor, and then turn your head to the left. It may not be a big turn. You can see that my head doesn't turn a lot. Some people have a real change in how their neck moves. Everybody's anatomy is different, and how they move within their bodies is different. Go with how you feel. Do you feel a release of these muscles from the shoulder, up the trapezius, up the neck, up to the ear? Do you feel that? That's what you're going for. You might feel some tension in the front of your elbow, even in your wrist, because you are purposefully flexing that arm as you push your hand down. That's okay. It won't last for long. Take a long inhale and fully exhale. Inhale and exhale. Long inhale. Exhale, gently release, lifting up your head to that neutral position. Take your left hand and press it down on the left side, as if you have an imaginary marshmallow you're pushing down. Press down hard with that and tilt your head to the right. Create maximum space from your shoulder to your ear. Feel the release of all of these muscles on top of the shoulder and behind it. You may feel tension in your left elbow. You may feel tension in your wrist. As you are stretching out all of those muscles, continue to draw the shoulders down and breathe deeply. Take another beautiful long inhale and exhale, release, placing your left hand back in your lap. Draw the crown of your head up, lift up your heart center on your inhale. And on your exhale, drop your chin to your chest. Inhale to the right, leading with your chin as we start our circles. When you arrive at the back, change that to an exhale as you go to the left and down. Inhale to the right. When you arrive at the back, change that to an exhale. If you feel tension, draw the shoulders down even more, create more space. Continue to inhale to the right and exhale to the left at your own pace. It's very important when you move that you move in a safe way, that you honor your body's limitations in the moment. So try not to overstretch, which is why it's important to lead with the chin. Make sure you are connecting movement with breath by inhaling to the right and exhaling to the left. And make sure that as you engage in these circles with your head, that you draw the shoulders down and draw your heart center and your crown of your head up. This creates maximum space. If you hear clicking in your neck, it usually is not serious, but pay attention to it. And if you need to back out and make your circles a little bit less wide, then do that. But continue to draw the shoulders down. I used to hear clicking and I don't anymore because I've created the space. I've removed those adhesions, I've loosened up the calcium or the crystallizations. Let's do one more circle on that side. And stop at the bottom. Take a nice long inhale. And exhale. And then on your next inhale, start to go to the left. Inhale to the left. And exhale to the right. Inhaling to the left. Exhaling to the right. Continue to inhale and exhale, circling at your pace. Ask yourself, do you have headaches? They could be postural from your sleep at night. They can be from holding a lot of tension. They can be from not breathing as effectively as you should be. So use this time that we are doing these head circles as an opportunity to get to know your body better and find sources of potential pain or discomfort. And breathe it away. Movement with breath. Let's take one more inhale to the left. And exhale to the right, bringing the chin down. Inhale, lift up the crown of the head. Assess how you feel. Sometimes after our eyes have been closed for a long time, when we open them back up, it feels like a new day. Let's move forward in our chairs and continue this effort to release tension. And what I want to do is some cow-cat undulating of the spine, and we'll do some circles with the spine as well. So place our hands firmly on top of our thighs. Inhale the heart center forward, allowing our sits bones to float back as we move into cow. Draw the shoulders back and down. Exhale, move the spine back towards the chair, curling it in cat, allowing your pelvis bowl to tilt forward, rolling the shoulders. Inhale, reverse that, moving into cow. And then exhale, move into cat, curling your back towards the chair behind you. Inhale, move forward into cow. And then exhale, moving back into cat. And then one more inhale, draw the heart center forward. And then exhale, return to normal. So now, just like we did circles with the head, let's do circles with the body. Let's take a nice inhale, draw the crown of the head up. And then imagine that your body is like one of those tomato cages, right? So you have 3 rings. You've got the top ring, the middle ring, and then a bottom ring and a point at the bottom, okay? So what we're doing is treating our shoulders like they are the top ring. So we're taking our shoulders around on this upper plane. So starting off in neutral, take a nice inhale. Exhale, move forward and then start to circle to the right. Linking your breath with your movement. You can choose what you did in your head rolls, your neck rolls, is to inhale to the right and exhale to the left. Let's do one more of those. Stop at the front and then inhale to the left. And it's okay if your hips are moving up and down. We're just warming up our torso and our spine and just feeling gentle, wonderful movement. Let's take one more inhale to the left, moving to the right, and then sit up. So let's move into Ardha Chandrasana, which is half moon pose. So in Ardha Chandrasana, what we're doing is we're curling our body in a crescent shape. So sit up nice and tall, place your right hand on the chair to the right of you. Take your left arm out to the side, up alongside your left ear, and then curl to the right. Draw the left shoulder back so that you can open up your heart center. Draw your crown in the same direction as your hand is moving to create maximum space in your neck. Try not to crunch anything. Use the breath to open everything up. Think in terms of expansiveness and possibilities. Take a nice inhale and then exhale. Drop that arm down. Move your body to the right in your chair. Place your left hand on the chair. Bring your right arm out and up alongside your right ear, and then curl to the left. Again, draw your right shoulder back so that you can open up your heart center a little bit. And as you curl, draw the crown of your head in the same direction as your hand, creating maximum space, maximum expansiveness. Take a nice inhale, and then exhale. Bring that arm down. Let's link breath with movement again as we use our inhale to lift up our hands and our exhale to bring them down. Inhale up. Exhale, draw the crown of the head up as you descend your hands down. Inhale, hands up. Exhale them down. Inhale the hands up again. And then let's exhale back over our legs, dropping our crown, dropping our hands. Inhale into a flat spine, pressing our hands against our shins, drawing the crown of the head forward as we draw our shoulders back. Exhale down. Inhale, reverse swan dive, using the strength of your back and the straight, strong back to rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale. Exhale the hands down and then inhale them up. Exhale, leading with the heart. Swan dive forward. Drop your hands, drop your crown. Inhale into a flat spine. Exhaling down. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale. Exhale the hands down. Inhale them up. And then exhale, swan dive forward again, drawing the heart center down, dropping the crown. Inhale into a flat spine and exhale down. Let's take a bit of a twist on this side. Start to wring out some stress. So keep your left hand on your left foot, right hand to your waist. You can anchor your elbow inside of the knee of your left leg and just use that to give you a little bit of leverage as you turn to the right. Feeling this stretch all along these muscles here, just above the crest of your hip. So these muscles here that I'm pointing to, these are really important to reduce hip stress and pain in the lower back. So it's really important that when we stretch, we don't just stretch the areas where we think we feel the discomfort. It's important that stretching be holistic, that it include the whole body, because all of the structures of the body are interconnected and they all act upon one another. Draw your right shoulder back so that it's stacked over your left shoulder as much as you can, and continue to move the crown of your head forward just a little bit to continue to stretch this area right above the crest of the hip. Take a nice inhale, exhale, Return back down. Place your right hand on your right foot. Take your left hand to your left hip. Anchor your elbow inside of your right leg and twist to the left. Draw the crown of your head forward. Draw your left shoulder back so that it's stacking over your right shoulder. And feel that wonderful opening of this part, stretching it out, wringing it out. Take another inhale, and then exhale, fold down. Inhale, rising all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. So we've done a nice bit of warming up of this whole part of the body. So let's move into some sun salutations. We're going to do all of our sun salutations in high lunge today, none of them in low lunge. I really want viewers at home who have knee problems to know that chair yoga is a wonderful way to do yoga, even when you have some orthopedic issues. So a lot of viewers will say to me, I can't be on my knees. Is there yoga that I can do that doesn't require me to be on my knees? Well, yes. And then somebody else asked me, is chair yoga real yoga? I said, yes. I'm going to adjust my camera slightly so you're not just seeing the cropped off top of my head. There we go. So yes, chair yoga can be real yoga. Can chair yoga challenge the body? It all depends on how you approach chair yoga. I like to use the chair as a wonderful prop. So we're going to use it as a prop today as we go through sun salutations and a warrior and triangle series. So standing in front of your chair, inhale your hands out and up. Exhale, swan dive forward, hands to the chair. Drop your forehead to the chair. We talked about inversions. We talked about stimulating the third eye chakra. Well, placing your forehead on things is a wonderful way to stimulate that chakra, increase your intuition, increase your ability to look inside. Inhale, draw the crown of your head forward as you straighten out your arms, creating a flat spine. Exhale, drop your crown back down again and take your right foot back in a lunge. Now you can make this lunge as short as you need to or as wide as you need to. It all depends on where you're at and your level of expansiveness that you want to achieve. Inhale the heart center up, draw the shoulders down. Make sure your hips are even with one another. So moving the right hip more forward as you draw that left hip back. Take a nice inhale. On your exhale, place your hands firmly on the chair. Move your left foot back to join your right. In modified downward dog, and reach your hands forward, opening up the whole chest, opening up the heart, allowing it to start to travel down towards the floor, creating a nice opening of your hamstrings at the same time. Take a nice inhale. On your exhale, take your right foot forward into that high lunge. Inhale the heart center up, drawing your shoulders down, opening up that left psoas. Inhale. On your exhale, take your left foot forward. Inhale into a flat spine. And then exhale, drop your crown to the chair, your forehead to the chair rather. And then inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale. Exhale the hands down. Inhale your hands up. Exhale, swan dive forward, drawing your heart down, dropping your forehead to the chair. Inhale into a flat spine, straightening out those arms. Exhale down and take your left foot back. My watch is trying to talk to me. Inhale, heart center up, stretching out that left psoas. And then exhale, take your right foot back to join the left in downward facing dog. Reaching the hands forward. Nice flat back, stretching out your hamstrings. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, left foot forward, right foot back. Inhale the heart center up. Exhale, take right foot to join the left. Inhale into a flat spine. Exhale down. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale. By the way, there's always some in the attic. Inhale. Exhale. That was my son getting toilet paper. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Drop your forehead to the chair. Inhale into a flat spine. Exhale down and take your right foot back again. Inhale your heart center up. Now, if you want, you can release from the chair and you can just raise your hands up. Exhale, circle your hands down. Take your left foot back to join the right. Inhale. Exhale, take your right foot forward in that lunge. Inhale the heart center up, dropping the shoulders. Perhaps raise your hands above. Exhale, circle the hands down. Take left foot forward to join the right. Inhale into a flat spine. Exhale down, dropping your forehead. Inhale, reverse swan dive. All the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale. Exhale the hands down. Inhale your hands up. Exhale, swan dive forward, placing your hands on the chair, dropping your forehead. Inhale into a flat spine, and then exhale, take your left foot back. Inhale, lift up the heart center, perhaps lifting up your hands if you want. And then exhale, bring your hands down and bring your right foot back to join the left. In downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale, take your left foot forward. Inhale the heart center up. Exhale, circle the hands down. Take right foot forward to join the left. Inhale into a flat spine. Exhale down. Reverse swan dive all the way up. And then exhale, hands to heart center. Now, I don't know if I got lost in the middle of that. Sometimes when I get distracted, I leave a part of it out. So we'll do a third one. For good measure, inhale. Exhale the hands down. Inhale your hands up. Exhale, swan dive forward, drawing the heart center down, dropping your forehead. Inhale into a flat spine. Exhale down and take your right foot back. Inhale into your, inhale, lifting up the crown of the head, lifting up the heart, maybe lifting up your hands if you want. Exhale, circle the hands down, take left foot back to join the right. Inhale, exhale in this downward facing dog. Inhale, exhale, bring right foot forward, lift up the heart. Exhale, circle the hands down, take left foot forward to join the right. Inhale into a flat spine, exhale down. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale. Exhale the hands down. Inhale your hands up. Exhale, swan dive. Hands to the chair, dropping your forehead. Inhale into a flat spine. Exhaling down and taking our left foot back. Inhale the heart center up, maybe lifting up the hands. Exhale, circle the hands back down to the chair. Move right foot back to join the left in that modified downward facing dog. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, left foot forward. Inhale the heart center up, lifting up the hands. And then exhale, circle the hands down. Take right foot forward to join the left. Inhale into a flat spine. Exhaling down. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up. Exhale down. So we're going to go into a warrior series, but we're going to leave the chair right where it's at and use it as a point of support if you need it or if you want it. So a lot of times I will deliver downward, I will deliver the warrior series while we're actually sitting in the chair, but today we're going to be out of the chair as we go into warrior 1 and 2, and we'll do a modified version of humble warrior. So let's inhale our hands up. Exhale, bring hands to heart center. Take our right foot backward and set up both of our feet for warrior 1. So our toes are facing forward on each foot. The right psoas is opening up. The right foot behind us is at about a 45-degree angle. Our left leg is bent in front. However deeply you bend that left leg determines how much this front of the right hip opens up. If you have a hard time having your feet kind of lining up just as they would in a normal standing position, you need to widen your stance so that you're taking up the size of your mat better. Feel free to do that. That allows you to have both of your hip bones facing in the same direction as the heart. Now, in this position, if you find that you need to just hang on to the chair while you're in this position, that's okay. Or rise your hands up. Let's breathe 3 times. Create expansiveness by lifting up the heart and dropping the shoulders down. Take one more inhale and exhale. Circle the hands down and let's move into warrior 2. So you're going to see the back end of my body. I'm going to rise up on my toes, pivot my right foot so that it's now parallel with the back of the mat. Keep my left foot right where it's at and perhaps adjust it slightly so that the heel is lined up with the arch of my right foot. Then I'm going to take my right hand to my hip and turn my body so that it's facing the wall behind me, or what was the wall behind me, right? So basically, I've changed my orientation from front to side with my body. Now, if you find that you need to continue to keep your hand on this chair to support you, feel free. But ideally, I want you to rise up so that your torso is lifted up. Draw your shoulders together, draw them down, engage your belly button up against your spine, which will create space for your tailbone to drop. And then however much you bend this front leg is how much you open up your hips. If you need to lengthen the space between your feet to achieve that opening, then feel free. Take a nice inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And take another inhale. Exhale. Tilt your hand down to the chair. And normally in humble warrior, we would place our hands behind us and we would tilt forward. But I think for chair yoga class, that's kind of intensive. So I'm going to have you just place your right hand on your right hip, keep your left hand on the chair, and then just start to move your head down. Go down to the degree that you choose, or you can just stay up high and drop the crown of your head, or you can even fold into it. The choice is yours. I'm going to stay up high to demonstrate this pose to you at home. When we go into humble warrior, we are stimulating the crown chakra, stimulating the third eye chakra. Take a nice inhale, fully exhale, and then inhale, rise back up into warrior 2. Fully exhale, and then inhale. Exhale, straighten out your left leg, tilt into your triangle as you place your left hand on the chair and your right arm up to the ceiling, and start to swivel your right shoulder so that it is stacking over the left, and swivel your left thigh so that you are pointing your kneecap towards the ceiling. So that means engaging the muscles on the outside of your hip to tack that hip down. Draw your belly button up against the spine. Keep an open heart and breathe. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, bend your left leg as you turn your body towards the chair, placing your right hand on the chair. And then shorten your stance slightly, going back to kind of those warrior 1 feet. Straighten out your left leg. We're going to move into pyramid pose using the chair for support. So I've straightened out my front leg. My left leg is straight. So it's like you have triangle legs. only a shortened stance. Inhale the crown of your head forward. This may be your pyramid. If you want to increase the stretch along both sides, mostly the back, lower down to the chair, you might start initially with your elbows on the chair. Or if you want to, you can bring your hands back and bring your forehead all the way to the chair. As you bring it down, though, remember to bring the right hip forward as you bring your left hip back. Feel free, if you want to rest your forehead on the chair. Take a nice long inhale. Exhale, rise up out of that. Take your left foot back to join your right and move into downward facing dog. Take a beautiful long downward facing dog, stretching out your hamstrings, reaching your hands forward, allowing expansiveness of your chest. Take a nice inhale. Fully exhale. And then inhale, let's walk up to the front of the chair. Bring our hands up and overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Taking our forehead to the chair. Inhaling into a flat spine. Exhaling, forehead to the chair again. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Now let's take our left foot back. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, bend your right leg and bring your left foot back into warrior 1 feet. So how we engage this in each side may be different according to our anatomy, and that's okay. Be aware of what your anatomy is and what your needs are. I always find one hip opens differently than the other, but we continue with the same idea that whatever adjustments you need to make to allow your hips and your heart to be moving in the same direction is what you need to do. So if you need to have your hands on this chair as we do this warrior 1, that's okay. If you're able to, rise up, lift up your arms alongside your ears, lift up the crown of the head, lift up the heart, drop the shoulders down. Breathe 3 times. Take one more inhale. And then on your exhale, place your right hand on the chair or both hands as we move into warrior 2 feet. So perhaps you want to keep your hand on the chair for support, and that's okay. Or perhaps you want to rise up in traditional warrior 2. And like I said, the degree to which you bend this knee dictates how much you open up this hip, this inside of this hip. Lift up the crown, lift up the heart center, draw the shoulders together, draw the belly button in, create space so that your tailbone can begin to descend to the floor. Take a nice long inhale. And then on your exhale, place your right hand on the chair, place your left hand on your left hip, and then let's move into humble warrior. So you can just drop your crown if you want to, or you can bring your whole body down as you would in traditional humble warrior and drop your crown that way. I'm showing now the more extended version. Take another inhale, fully exhale. Inhale, rise back up into warrior 2. Inhale, fully exhale. Inhale, straighten out your right leg. On your exhale, drop your hand to the chair. Rotate your inner right thigh up so that your kneecap is facing the ceiling. Bring your left arm up to the ceiling. Draw your left shoulder back so that it's in alignment with your right shoulder. And breathe. Continue to draw your belly button into the spine. One more inhale. And then exhale, bend your right leg as you move towards your chair with your left hand. And then adjust your feet so that you're in those warrior one feet again. Straighten out your right leg now. So you might need to shorten your stance just a little bit as we head into pyramid pose. So in pyramid pose, you're drawing the crown of your head forward. This may be your presentation of it, or if you want, you can reduce down to your elbows, or if you even want, you can bring your hands back and bring your forehead all the way to the chair. Whichever presentation you choose, draw the right hip back as you bring your left hip forward to keep your hips squared off. And feel that wonderful stretch along the back of each of your hamstrings. Breathe deeply into the body, reducing tension, allowing it to open up naturally. Let's take one long inhale and exhale. And then inhale, rise up. Exhale, take your right foot back to join the left as we go into that beautiful downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, stretch out the body, reaching forward with your hands, expanding your chest, expanding your back body. Exhale, and then inhale, walk your feet forward. Let's turn our chair to the front now. And we're going to sit back down and do a couple of hip openers before we finish up our practice. It has been such a lovely practice focusing on expanding our understanding of the possibilities that are within us. Inhale our hands up. Exhale the hands down. Take our right ankle and cross it over the left knee. So I invite you to sit up nice and tall, draw the shoulders down, lift up the heart, flex your toes and bring them back towards your knee. So when we do this, we create space so this hip can start to open up on its own. So this week I taught fire log pose in my classes. And fire log is basically the double version of pigeon. And it's a rather intensive pose, but it's so beneficial for opening up the hip. And the only way that we can open up the hip in these challenging poses, open up the body, is through the breath. Creating space, creating good posture, and creating space so you can breathe. So I'm inviting you to create space, allowing this hip to start to open up naturally, allowing this knee to come down on its own. Now, if you want to deepen your stretch, take a nice inhale, drawing the crown of the head and the heart center up, drawing the shoulders down. And then on your exhale, leading with the heart, keeping your shoulders back and away from the ears, move forward. So I discourage curling in this position because that isn't really beneficial. You can experiment with that right now. If you curl down, what are you accomplishing? But when you draw the heart center forward and bring the shoulders away from the ears, suddenly you feel a deeper stretch in the back of this hip. You're also protecting your back. You're protecting your lower back especially. So you may not find that you are close to the leg as much when you straighten out and lift up your heart, but you are getting a more beneficial and healthy stretch because your alignment is more appropriate. And as you breathe, and maybe this is a time to be turning inward and focusing on other things than what this leg is doing anyway. you will find that the body naturally opens up and gravity does the job. So as we're talking right now, I'm beginning to feel the body releasing. My chest is just naturally descending down to my leg, even though I've kept the same alignment. Even though I'm drawing my heart center and the crown of my head forward, I'm feeling my body sliding down towards this side. Now it's morning time, so I don't have great expectations of how open I'm going to be in the morning. I don't usually open up really until about 9 or 10 a.m. My best time to do practice is noon or later, because that's when I feel most open. But morning practices are good too, because they set us up for a fantastic day. Let's take a nice long inhale and exhale. And inhale, rise up. Let's drop our right foot and switch sides. Cross our left foot over our right ankle, flex our toes backwards. Again, creating that space. You might notice right away how different this knee is compared to the other one. My left hip is always the more open hip. You may have a more open hip as well. Take note of that. Try not to take advantage too much of that openness, but do enjoy it. But on the other side, try to bring the less open side up to that side. So inhale, lift up the crown of the head, lift up the heart center, drop the shoulders down. Inhale fully. And then on your exhale, leading with the heart, draw your heart center forward as you begin to fold over this leg. Feeling this deep stretch on the back of your hip and perhaps on the outside of it, and maybe where your hamstring inserts into the gluteus maximus muscles. Inhale, rise up. My son has just left for his day of training to be a pet groomer. And I'm looking at him enter his car and away he goes. Let's inhale our hands up as we finish our practice. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's take that mudra again. Thumbs to forefingers, rest of our fingers in prayer pose. Close our eyes. Start to slow down the breath. Start to slow down your heart rate. Dropping your brain. Starting to head into a state of deep relaxation. Maybe sitting back against your chair. Start to relax the parts of the body. As you finish up your practice today, think of what expectations you may have had before entering the practice. And then, how were they fulfilled? Or how were you surprised? When we focus on thoughts of possibilities, versus limitations, we find we can make the most out of any situation, out of any practice. As yoga students, we will work with many different teachers. And they will all teach in their own way. And we may enter our yoga practice having an expectation of how it is going to go and how we will leave the practice. And sometimes we get there and we may discover that the practice doesn't challenge us enough, we think. Or the practice physically challenges us too much, we may think. And this is where you have an opportunity as a student to make it your own. You can take moves to make poses more extended, more challenging. You can back out of them. But one important ingredient is necessary to know what to do. And that important ingredient is knowing yourself, honoring yourself, respecting yourself, and living in the mindset of possibilities. How can I make the most out of this practice, this moment? I invite you to stay in a meditative, restful pose here for 5 minutes or longer. I want to thank you for joining me this morning. The light in me sees the light in you. The yogi in me honors the yogi in you. Namaste.